bum 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 ch ch bum 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 ch ch bum 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 bum. Sorry about that, guys. Can't afford the copyright on the music. G'day, guys. We got something special today. If you're new to the channel, welcome along. Please consider subscribing. I do tons of Makita reviews and reviews of other tools, and today, like I said, something special. We're going to have our first look at the 40 volt Makita line. So as at the time of making this video, these tools are not yet available in most of the world. Many of you will be familiar with the 18 volt purple Makita I have here. This is the top of the line Makita, the TD001 or the DTD171 or the XDT or XTD16. It's getting confusing, all these different numbers for different parts of the world. So today we're going to compare that with the specs on the 40 volt model, which I happen to have gotten, as you can see, in Makita Authentic Purple. This has been launched in Japan with 4 different colors: standard Makita teal, black, authentic red, and authentic purple. The rest of the world, I'm guessing we're just going to get the teal ones. Sorry, I'm still thinking what angle to go with this video. I could do the 99% of people don't know and yell at you and pretend you're really stupid and all that sort of stuff, but I don't think we'll do that. We'll just go through the specs. We'll compare the specs of the 18 volt to the 40 volt, and I'll disclaimer right now, I will not be using this in this video. Okay, we're just going to look at the specs and the lineup and what other tools are available, that sort of thing. Just a bit of a yarn here in the workshop. If you can't wait, if you want one of these right now, you want to get a colored one before they're sold out in Japan, there will be a link down in the description below from the guy I got this from. I actually got both of these from the same person. He's a good guy over in Japan. I'll put a link to his listing on eBay. He is selling the 4 different colors. I can't guarantee that he'll be able to get them for you, but I'll put the link and you can try. Don't shoot the messenger if he hasn't got any. I will also put another link, a generic 40 volt link down there. If you have a look down there, it'll show you any other 40 volt listings that have popped up since I've made this video, and you can have a look at some of the other tools. I have seen the saw, the circular saw, available, although it was 1,000 New Zealand dollars, skin only. So, whew. And the batteries are available, but shipping them to New Zealand is a bit of a minefield, and it cost just as much as the tool, and I wasn't prepared to pay that at the time. And I haven't seen any charges available yet, so they will be 110 volt chargers if they are available, because they're Japanese, remember that. Not only will the plug be wrong potentially for your country, but the voltage may be wrong also. Anyway, check those out if you're interested in the description below. So these 40 volt tools will be available in most of the world around June, July 2020, and as well as the Impact Driver, on launch there will also be an impact wrench, a reciprocating saw, a rotary hammer drill, a standard hammer or combi drill, a standard drill driver, 125mm angle grinder, a 185mm circular saw, and for some reason 165mm miter saw. Why would you, if you've got 40 volt, why would you not go straight to the 12 inch, seeing as you can get a 12 inch 36 volt one already? Let's have a look at the differences between the two tools. Many of you will have seen my video, which is up here, for this Impact Driver. This one is the Japanese version as well as this one. So this has your 4 standard speed settings or impact settings, and it also has 4 other settings, total of 8. This one has the 4 standard settings, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then it's got these other numbers here, 1, 2, 3. Now each one of those has 2 functions. So unfortunately these lights have 3 functions each. There's 10 different functions for this tool. It's a lot. which is going to make it tricky. There's so many different combinations of flashing lights. You know, that one lit up, that one flashing, those two lit up, that one flashing, that sort of thing, which is going to make it a bit awkward to know what setting you're on. At least with this model, you've got a different light for each one. So I'm not that happy about that idea. When I get the battery, we'll see how it works, see how hard it is to get used to. It almost would have been good. Somebody actually mentioned this on one of my other videos, that they're surprised they haven't got an LCD panel on these things yet. An LCD panel with the number of the setting would be quite good. That way you can cycle through 1 through 10. Superficially, they look very, very similar, as you can see. The 18 volt feels slightly better balanced in the hand. It's not as heavy on the top as this one is. It's not a huge difference, but according to the information, I should go get us some scales actually. This is 1.2 and this is 1.6 kgs. They both have glowing rings, they both have lights. If you look carefully at the two chucks there, might not be completely obvious in the video, the 40 volt one is slightly beefier. They're saying that it has 25% less run out than the 18 volt model. I found this model to be very good, very straight, especially compared to that crappy DeWalt one. There's not too much play for an impact driver. There's always play with impact drivers, and they always do this. Lots of people ask me about that. Is it normal for it to slide in and out? Yes, it is. So they're one-handed chucks, but as with most Makita ones, they're a bit tight to get in. And if anything, I'd say that's slightly worse than the 18 volt. It's certainly not 25% better. No, the 18 volt is probably better. It's also meant to have less pop out. Now how sometimes your bit might come out of the, I've never had it happen with this model, but the bit could come out of the chuck. With this they're saying much less likely for that to happen. Both got the glowing ring, both got the lights, like I say. They both got the quick change, which not a lot of people, 99% of people don't know about that. Yeah, so quick change that cycles through the standard 4 settings. So you don't have to put your hand all the way down here and push the button. You can just go with your finger, trigger finger, boom, 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 cycle through them if you wish. I keep forgetting to use that, so used to not having it, that I still always end up pushing the damn button down here. Anyway, not a biggie. Size wise, you can see the 40 volt, the one on the right of the screen, is slightly bigger. It's got a little bit more girth, not a huge amount, it's pretty close. Very, very similar, just a standard impact driver. Now let's have a look at the end that's going to be different. Battery connections. One on the right is the new 40 volt model. Now, as you can see, a few more different contacts to prevent you from sliding other batteries on and to give all the protection that this tool needs. These are all waterproofed. What I find interesting is it is very close in size. So the 18 volt we're looking at 54, nearly 55 millimeters. And the 40 volt we're only looking at like 58.5. So 4 millimeters. So I'm expecting the batteries to be not much bigger than the standard 18 volt. They almost slide on, they just don't quite go on because of that 4 millimeter difference, and of course the contact difference. So it shouldn't be too much bigger. The batteries that they're providing on launch are 2.5 amp hour and 4 amp hour, which is equivalent of 5 and 8 in an 18 volt range. They've got some strange numbers for the charging of the batteries. They've got a quick sort of charge number and a full charge. One is like charge to the point where you can use it, and the other one is full charge. I'm just going to give you the full charge, the real sort of numbers. So the 2.5 amp hour will charge in 28 minutes, and the 4 amp hour in 45 minutes. So that's good times. And that same charger with the adapter, because you can get a 40 volt charger, put an 18 volt adapter on top of it, and you can charge one of these Makita 6 amp hour, which is the largest 18 volt one Makita do at present. You can charge one of those in 40 minutes. which is 15 minutes faster than what Makita say you can do it on their standard rapid 18 volt charger. The cases are a big improvement on the 18 volt ones. They are black, they have rubber seals in them so they're waterproof, they have a good accessory compartment, and they have a handle on the end so that when you're trying to pull them off your shelf you can just easily pull them out instead of having to try and fiddle around like I have to. Put your hand over the top and drag them out. It's only a small feature but very handy. Right, now to the numbers. So there's two numbers that are important when you're comparing the Impact Driver. There's the speed and the impacts. So each speed, 1 through 4, will have the speed and the impact. So on the 18 volt in the lowest setting, 1100 and 1100. On the second setting, 2100 is the speed, 2600 is the impact. Third setting, 3200 and 3600. And on the highest setting it'll spin at 3600 and the impacts will be 3800. On the 40 volt you're looking at 1100 and 1100, exactly the same. 2100 and 2600, exactly the same. 3200 and 3600, exactly the same. But here is where it changes. The top one is 3700 and 4400. So not until you get up to the fourth setting that there's any difference according to those numbers. So outside of the 4 standard modes, this one has a thin metal mode, a thick metal mode, 3 bolt modes, and the jet assist mode I think that this one has. So essentially the biggest difference is a couple of bolt modes. If it's anything like this one, I'm guessing we're going to have one for loosening nuts and one's for putting bolts in and it's stopping before you strip threads, that sort of thing. So pretty similar, just those extra 2 bolt modes. I will of course test them when I can. The 18 volt is rated at 180 Newton meters of torque, whereas this one is 220, so you're getting 40 more Newton meters for your buck. And as for bucks, I'm guessing these are going to be pretty pricey. This actually cost me the same price as this, so I'm happy with that. But when they're released here, I don't know how much they're going to cost. These models are both made in Japan. By the time they come out in most parts of the world, I am guessing they're going to be made in China. This one is made in China for most markets in the world, so it stands to reason this will be also. This model is IP56, unlike this one, so it's rated better for dust and water. And that's about it, unfortunately guys, bit of a tease, I can't show you it working. But I will of course, as soon as I can get batteries and chargers in New Zealand, we will be putting this up against this, just to see how much of an improvement there is between the 18 and the 40 volt. And by 40 volt, it's 40 volt max, really it's a 36 volt tool. So it's exactly the same as if you've got a 36 volt Hilti, 36 volt Hikoki, that sort of thing. It's just numbers. I'm guessing they've decided to go with the max number instead of the nominal value due to the fact that they have an old 36 volt battery line, and 40 just sounds better, I guess. It sounds like 4 more, doesn't it? When really it's not. Anyway, thanks for watching guys. Check out my other Makita reviews up here. There will be lots more to come on the 40 volt range, I'm sure. And I've still got plenty of 18 volt stuff coming up too, of course. So cheers guys, see you on the next one.